Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit, and we're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. And I thought for today, for Friday, we would go ahead and take a look at the lesson that's assigned from the letter to the Hebrews, the 13th chapter, beginning at the 9th verse. Be not carried about with divers and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. We have an altar, whereof they have no right to eat which serve the tabernacle. For the bodies of those beasts whose blood is brought into the sanctuary by the high priest for sin are burned without the camp. Wherefore Jesus also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffered without the gate. Let us go therefore unto him without the camp, bearing his reproach. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. Let us offer the sacrifice of praise to God continually, that is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name. But to do good and to communicate, forgive not, for with such sacrifices God is well pleased. Okay, so once again, what we are doing is talking about the fact that originally, under the original covenant, there was a sacrifice made for sin by the priests in the temple. And then if we read in the book in Exodus and in Deuteronomy and Numbers and all those things that explain to us how these sacrifices are to happen, afterwards the animal carcasses were taken outside and burned outside of the camp. And so the writer to the Hebrews talks about that, that first of all, it does not be carried about with any diverse and strange doctrines. Like this follows on, we were just talking about how Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever, right? And so to believe anything that is not taught by Jesus as eternally true is one of these diverse and strange doctrines, right? So don't be carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, all these things that could be floating around. But then he says, look, we need to be established with grace, right? Grace, remember, is that participation in the divine life. And so it is a free gift from God. Our salvation is a gift of grace. Remember, it's by grace through faith in Jesus Christ that we are saved, and not with meats. And then he goes on to talk about the fact that this sacrifice from the original covenant happened in the temple, and then the carcasses were burned outside. So he draws this analogy that, in fact, Jesus Christ was sacrificed outside the camp, right, outside the gate, right? I mean, we know that he was crucified on Golgotha, which was a hill just outside of one of the gates of the city. And so we join Jesus in going outside, not putting our salvation in meats or actions or anything that we can physically do, but knowing that our salvation is firmly entrusted on the merits and grace of Jesus Christ, who died on the cross, right? So what is our response then? Instead of offering these sacrifices in the temple for sin, because we have one sufficient sacrifice once offered for the sin of the world, Jesus Christ, right? Instead, our sacrifice is a sacrifice of praise to God continually, the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name. In other words, our sacrifice is one of gratitude. Right? Sacrifice comes from the Latin phrase sacrum facio, I make holy, right? So we offer holy thanks and holy offerings to God with thanksgiving, right? It's a sacrifice of praise. And to do good and to communicate, right? Or another modern translation is to do good and distribute, forget not, for with such sacrifices, right, such offerings, God is well pleased, right? So we are peoples whose sacrificial life is one of gratitude, as well as a sacrificial life of serving others in Jesus' name. So today is Friday, and we do have a funeral this morning at St. John's. We're hosting a funeral for our friends at Church of the Redeemer in Southfield. Father Kerr will be doing that. It'll be available for watching on our Facebook feed if you would like to join in for the worship, for the repose of the soul. But it is not one of our parishioners, rather it is Lawrence Boast, and his family, his married into family, were members of St. John's at one point, many, many, many years ago. So we're always grateful to be able to help our fellow 1928 Purwood Parish when they need a bigger space to host something like a funeral. But I do hope that you'll be saying your prayers today on this Friday, and may God bless you.